Welcome to another exciting episode of the ASAP Elite Podcast. I'm your host, Professor Haas, and also with me, I got Coach Penn. Today, we got an exciting show for you. We got the slasher, Tierre Brown, with us today. And before we jump into this interview, what we want to do is I want to bring to you by Nike the shoe of the day.
We're bringing you the Hirachi.
Ooh.
Yes, sir. Word to it. Here we go.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. What's good, man? Thanks for coming, man. It's such a pleasure to have you on the show.
Yes.
I heard it was y'all were getting some crazy weather down there in Houston.
Yeah,
Yes.
we're getting slammed, man, with the winter storm, some stuff that hasn't happened in like 200 years or something crazy like that. But it's getting better. It's getting better. The worst is over.
All right, let's get into the questions, man. So being from Louisiana, how did you get your start in basketball?
Man, I was always a junkie for sports, man. And then just growing up in the country town, we didn't have, it was baseball for a while. It was baseball, it was football. Basketball. We did football growing up. It was one of those. So a lot of people don't know baseball was my first sport. Okay. I was a monster at baseball. And then as I got older, it was just easier. It was just easier to play basketball. With baseball, you need someone else there. You got to have hitting to you. You got to have somebody throwing to you. It takes other people, and it's real time. Basketball, I can go out there with just me and my ball, work on stuff myself. I saw local players, growing up in high school, and they kind of inspired me. And of course, the NBA players, the Magics, my dad used to rave about Dr. J all the time, even though I didn't see him play a lot. Yeah, man, I knew I was going to be playing a sport in something. I didn't know if I'd be going pro, but I tried to play all of them.
Man, I know that's right. Goodness. Man, you have an incredible reputation, man. Everyone talks about T. Brown, so undrafted to D-League MVP, from signed by the Houston Rockets. Can you walk us through your career in the NBA and eventually having a solid career overseas?
Yeah, bro. It was, man, I try to explain how it happened because it was like an act of God. I can't really explain it to people. Like, even though I got a big family, and most of us are Louisiana, Texas, California, and I had a cousin of mine that I'm close with. He was working in we grew up same small town we grew up in, and he was working, Denver for straight out of college. So he was working for a company called Lucent Technologies. So he ended up, I would visit him all the time. We're close, damn near like brothers. So long story short, he ended up moving to Houston, when I was in the middle of college. So I would come down to Houston every chance I got. I all around the city, just playing wherever I can, Fondy, West Side Tennis Club, other gyms, just wherever. And, and the Rockets, they happen, over the years, they happen to see me in the gym, because they practice gym was West Side Tennis Club, away from it was away from the Compact Center. I'm like, if my cousin doesn't move to Houston, they probably don't see me there. I'm probably not there. So it's West Side Tennis Club was like school. I ended up getting in. I was sneaking in a lot. I was just walking around. It was limited access. They wasn't letting just anybody in. It was like mostly just pros.
Wow.
So I got in there. I got close with some of the coaches, some of the scouts for the Rockets, and I would always get in there. I was just being there working out a lot of times by myself, and when those guys were running, a lot of times I couldn't play. So they, the couple times they let me play, I was in, I was looking like I belonged, and they they took acknowledgement to that, man. And before you know it, I was just in the gym, just shooting by myself. It was probably late night, man. And one of the coaches was still there, asked me what I had going on. I told him, I had nothing. I'd probably just go overseas, or probably. And that year was like the first year of the D League. I said I'll probably try that.
Yeah.
So I was watching. So it was like, we might have a training camp, spot open. Would you like to come? I was like, hell yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, that's how it went, man. When I went up there, like the next day, like to sign a deal or whatever, they made sure I knew.
Yeah.
Yeah, we want you to know, we just gonna come. We giving you an opportunity just to get some experience, show you a day in the life, and we want you to work our guys real hard, which at the time was like Moochie Norris, Steve Fran, Catino Mobley. So they was like, yeah, it's a 99.99% chance you're not gonna make the team.
Really?
Yeah. Before I signed, they was up front. They was up front with me, so I respected them. I didn't have anything going on, so I'm like, I'm coming regardless. It could have been,
right.
Yeah, it could have been a blank piece of paper. I would have signed.
That's right.
But yeah, I ended up signing it, man. I was doing my thing in training, working hard. First one there, last one to leave. Holding the bets, and a couple games would come, preseason games come, I wouldn't get in. I wasn't discouraged.
Yeah.
I was shit. Where I came from, I was just happy to be there. I was in the moment.
Yeah, you wasn't supposed to be there in the first place.
Yeah, because Coach would come back. He would come by Rudy T. He was like, you know what? Hey, he come back, man. I apologize. He's like, just stick with me. I'm gonna get you. And I say, Coach, I'm not complaining at all. I say, I'm gonna be right here. I'm gonna be happy regardless. I say, I do whatever it takes. And then eventually, like 3 or 4 games down the line, they put me in for one game, bro. And I did my thing that one game that changed everything. And yeah, I mean, I had no idea at the time. We flew back home from Orlando, and I was in there. We was off. We had an off day. I was in there going. I'm still working. I'm in the weight room, and Coach Rudy, he come down there. He pulls me out the weight room. I'm like, oh shit, here we go.
For sure. Yeah.
Remember that talk we had, upstairs before you sign? I was like, yep. And he was like, that's all changed. He said, yeah. He said, look like you're gonna make the team. So it's like, I'm just congratulating you in advance on being a Houston Rocket official. So that's how it went, man. Crazy. I just like.
Hey T, let me cut you off real fast. That is the first time I ever heard a story like that.
That's right.
Just like
amazing.
I say,
man. And here's the thing is and I know we talked about that. This is this particular show. We try to help as a blueprint for those who are coming behind you, and you had a lot of nuggets in there that we got. We can't move on without pulling those nuggets out, man.
Okay.
First you talked about the fact that when you were coming up and getting into the tennis club, first of all, you were doing this all by yourself. So one, you had to take initiative. The thing is, man, when you're talking about sports, one, it takes a lot of initiative and it takes a lot of hard work. You heard that throughout your story, right? And then I think the most important thing is because, and I tell my son this all the time, the cats that you see sitting on the bench, those cats were amazing basketball players when they were in high school and college.
Right.
And so it's easy for them to get demotivated, right? I'm not even getting in. I know I'm better than so-and-so. And like the attitude, right? When you're talking about attitude, like I honestly believe that, yes, you had talent and you showed when you needed to show. You took advantage of the opportunity that you had, but had it not been for your attitude, you wouldn't. That 99% would have held true. And so that's one of the things that I think a lot of our viewers need to see is the fact that your attitude can determine your altitude. And I know that's a catchphrase, but it's the truth, and you showed it.
Yeah, definitely. And this is just the beginning of the story.
Right.
Absolutely. Right.
Yeah.
I just had to pull that out there, man. I'm sorry. I pull nuggets out, make sure that the audience get it. Just in case
that was the short version.
Oh, okay. For sure. All right, from Houston, you go on to the you go into the D League, correct?
Yep.
Okay.
Mad.
Yeah.
Oh, mad as hell because they did me as good as they, the opportunity they gave me. They did me dirty with that one. So I was being a rebel in the D League.
Okay, got you.
Yeah, just didn't I didn't accept it, man, because it came down between this other guard that they drafted second round, but second round in NBA isn't guaranteed.
No, not at all.
So, they tell me whoever come in does the best job, that's the guard we keeping.
Yeah.
That's what they tell me. Like, not only did I have a year up in him in experience and, the way these things work and professionalism, like, I outplayed this dude by a light year. It wasn't even close. So, that's what kind of rubbed. Like, if he outplayed me, I ain't got no beef with that. Like, I got no problem with that. But that was the first time I witnessed. Well, not the first time, but that was the first time I witnessed politics of the NBA.
That's right.
I've witnessed some politics in sports growing up. That was a different level. But yeah, so I went into the D League. So I went there with an attitude, halfway. Even though I was halfway playing at first, just one next. But after I realized, getting mad wasn't gonna help nothing. It was gonna hurt me more than anything. So I just used motivation. So I just started killing everything, moving.
Wow. They ended up being the D League MVP.
Yeah.
Which is just as valuable as a number 1 to number 5 pick in the draft.
Yeah. That's when it was first starting. So people don't realize, like, the D League at that time was so much stronger because it was only like 6 or 7 teams.
Okay.
So all the talent was condensed. Now it's so many teams, like, it's watered down. Like, I'm not saying it's not as strong, so it's easier to for numbers to inflate now because
definitely.
So it's just a lot of guys that probably never and that's they getting abused over there. But but long story short, man, I just had to keep my head down and use that same motivation that that took me to the NBA. I had to get me back, and I had to prove those guys. Had to show them some stuff they didn't know. Which is I can pretty much do everything on the court. Score, rebound, assist, steals, defend. But when you go to the NBA, you got a role to play. They paying guys they want to score. They paying guys $20 million. They paying guys $18 million. At the time, was like the top contracts. But they paying guys they wanted for that. And at the time, the game was still being played inside out. It wasn't small ball era.
That's right.
Where one of the guards hoisting up threes and jumpers and played at 3 levels. It was inside. It was mid range. It was threes, but you wasn't taking a boatload of threes. Everything was kind of mostly mid range and in attacking the basket, locking up, being physical. It's so much different. Oh man, Jesus, if I'd have grew up if I'd have came up in this era, man, oh God.
Okay. Yeah, you ain't lying. I hear that.
That's what I was born. I came out the womb doing that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, man. Contracts bigger. They letting guards free.
Yep.
It's just what a time.
No handshake. No handshake whatsoever.
No hand. You can't contest. You can't even contest a guy's jumper and land in the same place. Can you imagine?
Man.
You imagine what Mike would have did in this era, man?
That's launch point. Goodness, I get it, but it's a little bit I know. I hear you.
Yeah. No, that's open now. But yeah, bro, it's just but I mean everything was a blessing, though. I ain't got no complaints about it, long term, no ill will, because it all helped me. Everything, all adversity, it strengthened me, it made me better. It, like in the words of Marvin Sapp, he said, "Victory comes through adversity."
Yes, sir.
So I took that, leaned on it, and that's been like my motto, like ever since. No matter what, like victory comes through your adversity. So
it's a nice little nugget to leave them with. I appreciate that, Tierre.
Yeah. It's just I think I got that on one of my pages in the bio. So I'm a firm believer in that from a guy, especially coming from where I came from and how it happened. Coming up in the internet, where the internet is. I couldn't promote I'm in a small town of 2,100 people, maybe 300 school. I'm not, we can't send out links, emails to teams. I gotta physically mail VHS cassettes, trying to be, the colleges, not knowing they're gonna watch the tape, it was just, it's crazy, bro. Because I know, never played AAU where I could be seen. Yeah, man, just like all local schools. I want to go to a big school.
No, because it's crazy.
Bad. So
It's
bad.
crazy. When we grew up, you know, McDonald All-American games, you got that for playing high school ball. You didn't get that from now. You can't go McDonald All-American. People don't even care where they play high school ball because AAU ball is how they get the scholarships anyways.
Yep.
And crazy. People don't understand this now because it's so much of a money grab. Back then, when I was coming up in AAU, you had to be good.
Yeah,
you couldn't pay. You should a fee and be on the team. You had to make a.
Yep.
You had to actually be good. Like, it's so many AAU teams now. Like, it's crazy. So the game is really changed. So I know definitely what you're talking about. Yeah, you got to do it in high school, and you got to be like McDonald's now. But the game is like absolutely changed. It's crazy.
All right, so you went from the D League in 2003, 2004. You know, the Lakers were pretty much dismantled by the Detroit Pistons.
Yes.
Out goes Phil, in comes Rudy T, your old coach.
Right.
Yes, sir.
We
got to talk about that experience.
Well, I don't know if Detroit dismantled the Lakers as much as, you know, Kobe did. You know, Kobe's my guy. Hey, I know Kobe's my guy, but Kobe was ready to be the man. So, you know, pretty much gave him an ultimatum, him a Shaq, you know, and at the time we're bumping heads, man. Shaq was getting old, you know, getting a little long in the tooth. So they chose Kobe.
Yeah.
Shipped back to Miami, and that was that. But yeah, I get back to the Rudy T thing. I was you know, like I said, I was doing my thing in the D League. I got a few call-ups to Cleveland, like a couple the year before LeBron got there. And the following year, which is my MVP season, I got a call up to New Orleans, which was the Hornets. So, you know, I got a call up both times. And then that following year, Rudy ended up signing to be the head coach with the Lakers.
Yeah.
And that's another like act of God, bro. Another one. So I go to training camp with the New Jersey Nets. I'm already in New Jersey. We're playing, pick up, the training, everything. Word gets to me that you know, it was going to be between me and Travis Beck and other guy, but he wasn't going to make. He was just there like for a roster spot, a camp spot. But yeah, word get back to me that Travis has a partial guarantee. Yeah, NBA can give you like if giving you a partial guarantee. They pretty much gonna keep you unless you just being unprofessional.
They got you.
They got back to me, and also I went to Orange Frank at the time, and I asked them like, was it true that he had? And you know, they kept it real with me. They was like, yes, because I was like, I'm coming here asking you because Rudy T has contacted my agent asking if I was available to go to camp with them because they have an opening that's you know, that's wide open for the backup position. And Rudy knows what I'm capable of. I know his system. So they kept it real, and they let me out of that. They let me out of that deal to pursue that deal in LA.
Wow.
Yeah. So I left New Jersey. I went straight to LA.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I went to LA, did my thing. You know, Rudy got me in there. I was backing up Chucky Atkins. I did my thing in the preseason where, you know, and shit, before you know it, it was another talk. I made another team the hard way. Like it was have a guaranteed contract. I had to do my thing again, like rare. And they signed me again. And then bro, like I said, just a lot of things I can't fathom. It's just it's God, bro. It's God. So it ended up that way.
Well, no, I just want to pull out again. You know, we talked about attitude earlier, right? And we talked about your character. And so here's another chance. Here's another opportunity. See, because a lot of times, we have kids with social media today, they do stuff and they don't think about the consequences later, right? And so when you're talking about attitude and character, your attitude and character that Rudy T got to see in Houston,
Yep.
helped you later on in your career.
Open doors, sure does.
And so it's important that people get to see the fact that what you do today really will affect you tomorrow. And so we have to get out of that short-sighted, the whole instant gratification thing, because of the simple fact that you don't know what God is setting up for you. While you were coming to visit your cousin in Houston, God setting these things up for you. So truthfully, all you have to do is accept them. And so, the thing is you show true character. You showed, you showed that you're somebody that coaches want on their team. Because as a coach myself, the thing is I want players and I want athletes that have good attitudes. Because there's so many great athletes out there, but there's so many jerks out there too. And so you're not being one of those. It may because that backup role that you got to have it. And the thing is when Rudy knew you were available, they was just like, yeah, come on, Tierre, I know this guy. So
know the system already and everything too.
Absolutely. And that's something that we can't pass up. We have to make sure that people see that a lot of this is due to your character. Now, don't get me wrong, skills is a big part of it too. You can't you have a skill, but your character, I believe, is what really sets you apart.
Yeah, man. Man, people don't know, like, it was just something, there's something else I just can't explain. It was just something in me. Like, it was an obsession. Like, I'm my own worst critic. Like, and I worked myself to the bone, to the gristle. And, bro, I'll have a bad game. I'll be in the gym the same night, trying to work on something. If I grew up, being looked over my whole life. Middle school, coming up in a small town, guys, that I'm clear and getting accolades and recognition, and all that motivated me. So when I saw them, I killed them. I just destroyed them. Sometimes they may have won, because they had more talent, but I was let it be known that I was the best. And when it was happening, it didn't change anything. Like, they were still getting the love. I could have quit. I could, but for me, that was more motivation. That was more fire. That was more flame, man. I would go even harder, even though, I would spend all day doing that, just working out. And that's why I thank God, Lord. I thank God I didn't Algier.
Yeah, that's right.
Actions. I didn't have all that. I had a ball, bro. It was everywhere with me. So, everybody that that counted me out, everybody like that cut me, that I thought was just political. They paid for that. They paid. Yeah, all the guys that got voted All-American, all stayed over me. I had better numbers or whatever. I took it personal. None of those guys made it to the NBA. None of them. They got all that. None of them made it to the NBA. I made it the farthest because I stayed with it. I worked harder. Nothing was given. I had to earn it all, and I had to work twice as hard because, I came from nowhere, a place where no one ever heard, and a place no one heard. If they never heard of the place, they damn sure never heard of me. So, I had to do that, and I was working so hard trying to get to a big college, but no one wanted to bite because I wasn't on that, that political wave, where my name was floating around.
That's right. Similar to Mr. Dumars.
Yeah, I had to swallow my pride, man. It's just like, and I got frustrated, and I was like, you know what? I'm done. I'm going to McNeese, and I always heard, like, go where you gonna play. Don't go to a big school just to
right.
My mind, I wasn't sitting the bench nowhere. Yeah. So
obviously you had the goods.
That's the belief I had in myself,
Right.
every time I matched up with somebody that was going to one of these big time D1s, I was demolishing them, and it wasn't hard. Like it wasn't hard. So I mean, so I swallowed my pride. I'm like, it meant I prayed on it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I stayed in church. I mean, I tell people that I worked hard, but I stayed in church.
There we go.
My family prayed for me. I prayed for myself.
Mm-hmm.
I stayed thick and thin. Nothing was gonna sidetrack me. Nothing was gonna take me off my path. You know, I was that obsessed with it. I was that obsessed with making it. I was that obsessed with proving people wrong. You know,
Mm-hmm.
and it was many nights, man.
Okay, so
it was many nights like crazy, bro, crying.
Yeah, I believe it. I can understand it. Like say everything that you endured.
Yeah.
But you were always where you were supposed to be.
That's right.
You know, exactly. And that's the beautiful thing of it. So at McNeese, I'm sorry, your junior senior year, you averaged over 20 points.
Yep. Yeah.
You get to the NBA and you become a role player.
Yeah.
How were you able to transition from being the man at McNeese to being a professional, you know, and having to play your role in the NBA?
Well, that was just, to me, it was, I had the skill to do both. Like, wanted me to be a point guard, I had that skill already. If that's what you want, I'm gonna get that to you. Especially if I'm on, I'm on a short leash in the NBA. Yeah. Like I learned early. Like someone is always what you do what you aren't.
Yeah, got you.
And so I'm not gonna be that guy that's gonna be cut for being unprofessional, not listening to the coach, being uncoachable. So I can score. Yeah, I can score. I can score any. That's the easy part for me. Like throughout my whole career, I can on it. That's the one-on-one. It's over. Like it's just over. They didn't want that. They want you to run the team. Like I said, the game was played inside out. I'm coming off the bench. They want me to run the second unit, get everybody involved, play defense, hit the open shot when it comes. They didn't want me scoring, getting the ball to guys, let them score. If that's what they wanted, but you see on the outside looking in, fans thinking, oh, he ain't, he trash, he ain't doing, like everybody can't score. That's not everybody's role.
That's right.
Yeah, but when they caught me in the summer, when I'm leading pro-ams and scoring in Houston with gym full of NBA guys.
Yeah.
Right.
Now. Like they know now. I'm like, yeah, don't think y'all about to just sit here and just because a guy, and even though I played everywhere I went, I say the guy at the end of the day will tear your ass up.
Yeah, got you.
Garbage and what you could do. I say, bro, that back gym shit don't matter. You gotta be able to run plays, be coachable. You gotta be able to play in front of 23,000 and still focus and run strategy. Run what's on the board, ad lib a little bit, do what's best for your team. You can't just go out there and roll the ball out.
Right.
Like win at gym and do your thing, do whatever you want. Now you got rules, coach, you got to listen to that.
Yeah.
So it's totally different game. So people think just because they're killing it's supposed to be professional. I'm like, bro, y'all playing against guys that work at Walmart, man. Y'all not playing against other professionals, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
I said, bro, don't stop thinking because you're killing plumbers at LA Fitness like you belong.
Yeah.
Bro, that's not how it works. I understand good, but that's like they got this ill-conceived notion that it's just going, I don't know. And it's nationwide like that. It doesn't work.
It is. Yep.
But and that's the reason why we have shows like this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, our thing is people need to hear what you're saying, right?
Yeah,
because a lot of times they think it's all about just putting the ball through the hoop, and it's not. The majority of the players, 98% of the players in the NBA are role players.
Yep.
Period. 98% of the players in professional sports are role players.
Right, yeah, and you got to do it. Or guess what? They're gonna find somebody else that will, and it's not a hard replacement because they got a million guys trying to take your place, man, and it's a new crop of guys coming in every year. So every year it's harder to stay.
How was it knowing that you're better than the guys in front of you?
Oh,
you know,
man.
and just having to play your role. You know, you could have hit that shot. You get what I'm saying? You could have beat that guy up.
Yeah.
That's a very important question because you know, with a lot of kids coming behind you that easily enter the transfer protocol.
Yeah, right.
You know, especially
Started on that.
oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it's one of the things like it's like the politics of sports. Even though that's not, you know, sometimes it's a judgment call on the coach. Like you just like at that level, you got a deal. Like at the NBA level, you get 12, you get 13, you get 12 active players per game. 12 per team. You get three guys that's not active.
Uh-huh.
And like I was up, most teams would carry 14, leaving open space just in case they needed a replacement later. But like, just you can't get frustrated. You got to go harder. You just got to stay professional. You kill it in practice. You be the first one there. You be the last one to leave. If you ain't playing the game, go work out. Find a gym. I mean, at the time before a pandemic, easy to get in the gym. Somebody coaches will open a practice gym for you. Just get in the gym. Just keep working. That's all. What else can you do? You can't make them play. Crying ain't gonna. Getting mad ain't gonna do nothing. Use it for that frustration. Use that anger for something. Like quitting ain't the answer. Quitting is, I mean, everything you work for is over.
Gotcha.
Like you did all it. So like my thing is, and like I gotta tell people, like I love the game so much, and you know it was so much of an obsession, man. Nobody had to tell me to work hard. Nobody had to stay on me. I didn't need nobody to tell me to go to the gym.
That's right.
I didn't need nobody to tell me go outside and play. Like it could be like growing up, it didn't even, as long as it wasn't lightning. Like I didn't have my goal for a while. It could be raining. I'll be out there working on my handles, bro. Yeah, no shoes on.
Yep, that's right.
Yeah, real country. No shoes on.
I already know, man. I already know.
Like I can't explain to people. So I say even to this day, even though I don't even, even though I don't play like anymore professionally, I still train, bro. I still love, that's how I stay in shape. Like
you never lose that.
Yeah, so I stay. I know people see a lot of people. A lot of the stars. They retire. They get a little fat. I say I don't understand that.
Yeah, you're a hooper.
I say I just. I said my work ethic and my level of love for just the game and staying in just that's different, and it's something I can't explain. I guess it's just something that got to be in you. So
yeah, definitely. Hey, speaking of politics in sports, Draymond Green, he called for players to be treated with the same respect as the team following the news of the imminent trade with Andre Drummond. We're going to play that clip for you right here.
Sit on the sideline and go to the back and then come out in street clothes because the team is going to trade him. It's good. Because when James Harden asked for a trade, and no one's going to fight back that James was dogging his last days in Houston. But he was castrated for wanting to go to a different team, and everybody destroyed that man. And yet a team can come out and say, oh, we want to trade a guy, and then that guy is to go sit. And if he doesn't stay professional, then he's a cancer, and he's not good in someone's locker room, and he's the issue. Because as a player, you're the worst person in the world when you want a different situation. But a team can say they're trading you, and that man is to stay in shape. He is to stay professional, and if not, his career is on the line. At some point, this league has to protect the player from embarrassment like that. Anthony Davis got fined, I think, $100,000 or something like that for demanding a trade publicly. But you can say Andre Drummond is getting traded publicly, and we're looking to trade him publicly, and he's to stay professional and just.
Draymond is telling the truth here. I must say, I must agree with him.
Yeah.
What is your take on the landscape of politics in sports overall?
It's tough, man. It's tough. And the crazy part is it's nothing you can do about it. That's the only thing you can do about it is keep working. I tell people Like I got blessed because I was in my work ethic was wicked, you know. That was just something I think that was just something that was in me, God given.
And where you from?
Yeah. And that's how I was raised, and that stayed with me. But there's nothing you can do, especially at the pro level. There's nothing you can do about the politics of sports.
Nothing.
Whether you're not getting the votes for MVP, whether you're not getting votes for the Hall of Fame and you belong, whether you're not getting votes for All-Star, whether you're not making a team, there's absolutely nothing you can do. You can't kiss enough ass to swing politics in your favor, not in pro sports. My thing is, I try to tell people, like, the only way it worked out for me is I got seen, like I got in front of the right people.
That's right.
I happen to be in the right place
at the right time.
And timing is everything.
Big time.
Bro. And it's it was just one of them times they just, the right were in need. Rudy T was unlike a lot of the head coaches, Rudy T was a fair guy. 9 times out of 10, Rudy's gonna sign the best guy. He's not gonna sign because of the school you went to. He's not gonna sign you because of who your agent is and how powerful the agent, maybe of the other guy. So and then it's a lot of NBA coaches that's not like that. Like it can be one guy. Just put it like this: it can be one guy. They might say, for an example, Rich Paul. Let's take Rich Paul.
Okay.
He may have, of course, he LeBron. Rich Paul may have a guy that's just absolutely just average as hell. May not belong. Go to a training. He may go to a training camp and may not even need to have a contract. The teams will allow him to throw that. Like they will allow him, like in free agency. Like if they want a LeBron James, oh sure, we'll take that. We'll take that other guy with him as a package deal if we can get LeBron.
Yep.
We will take for the minimum. If we can get LeBron, we'll package it up. Now they got 1 million guys in free agency that's way better.
That's right.
Way better. Play everywhere they but they because
and cheaper.
Yeah. And because they out of a spot now because
because they're trying to get somebody else. Yeah.
It's agent goes and they might, the agent, they might want another favor. And it's a favor for a favor thing.
Right.
That's something that goes on like behind closed doors. You have like I didn't know at the time, but like that stuff that goes on behind closed doors, like people have no idea about.
Yeah.
Like all they see is like what's on TV, like who made the roster. It's a lot of guys got screwed that should have made rosters because of sports and politics. A lot. And it's gonna be that.
Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. So
let me hold on. Let me ask you this. So how would you tell the person behind you to deal with that particular aspect? Because I'm sure that was a hard pill to swallow when you saw all that.
Yeah, that's one of them things you can't control. It's like, when they tell you to not worry about the things you can't control.
That's right.
Oh, you're gonna worry anyway?
Oh yeah.
That's one of the things that you can't control it. Yeah, like in the words of Stephen A. Smith, like those with the goal make the rules. And same thing with Draymond. Like you can do all this, rant. And I even though I agree with him, but that's like, I don't like. I would be skeptical to trade a guy too. Like if I'm making so much money off of him, and he to a contract, and I know I'm not getting a superstar in value in replacing him. I would be skeptical too. But I think the only thing, bro, like he said he got castrated. He didn't get castrated. He didn't get the only people that quote unquote castrated him were Rockets fans. And they were mad because he was leaving. They felt abandoned. They felt betrayed because they wanted him to stay and deliver.
And they know what that
in
meant.
Detroit, I mean, it is a double standard, though.
Yeah,
Clearly.
no question, no
Well,
question.
But that's in
but
any
here's the
industry.
thing. It's a double. No, it's a double standard in business.
In business,
Period.
yes. In any industry, yes, sir.
Yeah, it's in any industry, whether you're talking about sports or not. Just like you see those NCAA, then it says all of us are going sports and going professional and something other in sports. In business, they do the same thing.
Yeah, right. Politics aren't just sport. This whole country is about who you know and who knows you.
That's right.
Everything is like that. You got to have a kind of skill. Like there's gonna be a lot of people with your skill, but it's at the end of the day, it's gonna be political. Who knows you? Who do you know?
Yep.
Where'd you go to school? Yep. And it's all kind of stuff. If I know, they may have a guy that went to Houston Baptist.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, all smart people don't just go to Ivy League schools,
That's right.
Mm-hmm. And they might see on the resume Houston Baptist. They might see on another resume Harvard or Yale.
Yeah.
Guess which way they're gonna swing without even talking?
Yeah, definitely.
They're gonna swing to Ivy. It's crazy like that, bro. It's crazy. Yeah. I know guys that got in the league because Coach K was coach. John Kelly. Like I know guys that they were big name guys in high school, but they were just average in college.
Mm-hmm.
And still got the benefit of the doubt, still got a shot.
That's how it works. That's how it works. Definitely. Yep. Like I said, on every level.
And that's nothing you can do.
Nothing at all.
Like use it. Like just use it, bro. Use it in your favor. And just try to swing it. If it doesn't work in your favor, you worked hard.
Yep.
You did your absolute, like your best. There's nothing you should be ashamed of. You did everything you can.
All right.
And another thing, real quick, pulling out the nuggets real quick, is you said earlier, you said you don't quit because everything that you did to get there is for nothing.
For nothing. Yeah.
But then also I want to tie that to what we were just talking about, because here's the thing, you quit sports, right, to get out of the politics. You're just going into the politics of something else, because politics are everywhere.
Something else probably that has way more people in line.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know if you like people. I don't know if you're going like be business management. I don't know if you be an engineer, nursing, whatever it may be. It's going to be way more people in that line of business than it is in the NBA.
Yeah, they're born with that talent.
Yeah, it's only so many. It's only so many spots. So and it's a gang. It's a shitload of spots for nursing and business positions, engineering positions, and stuff like that, et cetera, et cetera. But it's just, bro, gonna be part. There's nothing, like I said, nothing you can do but continue to work hard, because, like I said, my thing is I worked hard, I prayed on it. I know my people prayed for me, so I know a big part of that like helped me and put me in position. But man, I never quit. I used all that adversity to make me work harder, go harder. Even if it was anger, I used it. I used it in my favor, not against.
There you go. So, what would your 41-year-old self say to the 21-year-old T Brown?
Ooh. Man, I don't know. I was pretty much just focused.
Yeah.
I was focused at 21, man. It was like, and I probably much, but I was sacrificing. I was sacrificing a lot. I was sacrificing, time with family. I wasn't doing relationships. I'm missing certain events. Just to work on my game. I was, and in college, I started off good. I try to put it in a nutshell. Freshman year, got run up. I was mad about. I got run up for freshman year. I was mad about that. we didn't win enough. I had good numbers. So Midnight Madness come sophomore year, and I put in so much work. I used that as my motivation all summer that I didn't get freshman of the year. So I put in all this work that summer, the summer after, spring and summer. So I came to Houston, played with pros, played against other guys, and they had college leagues here at the time. I was ready. I was college leagues. So man, I was going crazy, bro. I was playing basketball everywhere, training everywhere. So it was probably too much, but I had to do it. But I couldn't stop. So Midnight Madness, my sophomore year, man, I made a regular layup. So I'm just running back on defense. I turn around and back on defense. My knee locks.
Oh wow.
Locked and just a sharp pain. I didn't twist it. I didn't turn it. Nothing. My knee locks and swells up. I can't straighten it. Off the court. I got a torn medial meniscus before I even get started.
So just got blew out, yeah.
Crazy. They was coach, he was, he wanted me to, even though like the surgery is like it could be 4 to 6 weeks, it could be 4 to 6 months, depending on the surgery needed. If you need that surgery to repair the meniscus, it's gonna be 4 to 6 months. If you gotta just take a piece of it off, that's 4 to 6 weeks. Guess what I was praying for?
4 to 6 weeks.
I was praying. I was going to clip that shit off. Even and that's what it ended up being. They clipped like a small piece that got in between the joint, and that's what made it lock up, and I couldn't straighten my leg. But yeah, so 4 weeks, I'm pushing, trying to get back, man. And coach, he wanted to redshirt, man. I'm not sitting out the whole season. Ain't no way. Ain't no man. Way love wow, that he wanted me to sit a whole season. So 4 weeks go by, man, and I was trying to, I wanted to get right back in the starting lineup, and just get my stride. It never he never got me back in that rotation like that. He never put me back. And then so I was just averages was like damn near went in half. So yeah, because he didn't he was like, I guess scared that kind of trying to
protecting you from yourself. Yes, sir.
But I'm like, it's not like that to me. I like it ain't ACL. I'm trying. Yeah, but yeah. So boy, I had to swallow so much pride, man, and it was so many wet pillows from just crying and can't sleep. That's serious. I took it. I can't. Maybe everybody else don't, but I wanted to play more. I wanted to start so bad just to prove everybody wrong, man. And it got to that obsession where it's like I just wanted to get it anywhere I could. So whole season, like I just didn't. I accepted that role, man, and took myself out of there, like out of that mind frame where I needed to start. And I just at the end of the season, I just start killing, and I coming into myself again. So the seniors, they had their moment to shine. I wasn't getting I was just a help to them. I was kind of, to take over their shine, but I played way better. And then that's when my junior year came top 25 in the country.
Oh yeah, 20.
Yeah, top 25 and scoring again. I don't know who in McNeese history besides Joe D.
Yep, that's it.
Like scored over 20 and back to back. Like
that's it. Just you and Joe Dumars. Yep.
Right. And the crazy thing is, man, it's the politics again. Like just piggyback off of that. Like people don't know. Like it bothers me a little bit because my own school don't even
Yeah, really.
I mean, I was putting McNeese. I was screaming McNeese everywhere I went. Where I went, people never heard of McNeese. I was McNeese, everywhere I went. Coming back, playing with the players, And I come back every summer and play with them for weeks. Spring, because I'm close. I can drive right there in 2 hours.
Yep.
Lake Charles in 2 hours. So I come back every Yeah, let them work out with me. Show them NBA like workouts. Give them little tips.
Yeah.
Yeah, nobody else ever did that. And yeah, even to this day, that's another political thing. I'm not in the McNeese Hall of Fame. My jersey's not retired. They nothing, like no acknowledgement. I have the second longest NBA tenure from a game standpoint in McNeese history.
Wow.
And they got hasn't even scratched the surface. They're in they're in the McNeese Hall of Fame. They getting all this recognition. But like the coach, he was like, they got a new coach there, and he's like, man, he's like, it's so fucked up. He said, man, I'm going to talk to you. I said, absolutely not. I said, don't tell them nothing. I said, if I gotta force it, I don't want it. I want it to. Right. I want it to be authentic. Don't force their hand. I told the coach before, don't force their hand. Don't do nothing. If they don't want me in there, I say I don't want to be in there. I don't want it, and I don't want to force it. I ain't gonna beg. I ain't gonna beg to be in there. I want it to be true. You know what I'm saying? I want it to be true. It ain't bringing me. I don't lose sleep over that, even though it stings a little. Like, but it could be. Some people get in fast, people get in slow. But yeah, that kind of like that's another political thing.
Well, considering you played with multiple great players and coaches, what was the best advice that you received from a veteran, to help you either in your game or in your everyday life?
Man, it was so much information, man. Outside of them telling me things, I needed to work on, I didn't need motivation.
Yeah, sure.
Motivation or inspirational speeches, but because I was gonna practice, I was gonna play, I was gonna do that all day, all night. Oh, yeah. I'm gonna work out 3 times a day. That's just what I am. Even even now, sometimes I go work out 2 times a day sometimes. But it was just that one quote that no matter what, one coach was like, don't worry about the score. Just you always give the coach what they ask for, and don't try to do too much, because they'll always have somebody that's willing to do what you aren't. So just be coachable. Trust me, NBA coaches, we know what you can do. We know what you're capable of. That's what he said. He's like, we're not dummies. Like, we can see, we know what got you there. So I was like, cool. Like, they know. I have to go out my way to try to prove it to them. They already know.
That's when players get in trouble, because they feel like, I gotta show them. They don't know about me.
Right. Now you get outside your element. You're getting outside of the strategy of the team. You're hurting the team, trying to show off yourself. But like stuff like that, man, it's gonna be a time where you can do your thing, show your stuff. It's all, like I told you earlier, time and everything.
Definitely. It's going to be a lot more guys that end up traveling overseas to play professional ball. What advice would you give to those guys coming behind you?
Just do your thing. Like, you can't. Like, I went overseas. I wasn't happy. Same way I did the D-League thing. I wasn't happy. And it was overseas. Every country is different. They play so different. They got their own way. So
okay.
Yeah. It doesn't matter if you've been in the NBA. They don't want to learn the NBA way. They want to stick. Yeah, they stuck in their ways. They want to do it their way. My advice would be just the same thing. Just work hard. Give them what they kill it. Kill it. Win.
Yeah.
That's a lot of teams like to pull guys from winning teams. So go off. They don't value big numbers on a losing team as much, even though you're putting up numbers. Yeah. I noticed that they don't value losing as much. They'll take a guy much less than you from a team. Like, you could be like, if you're on the last team putting up big numbers, the value doesn't add up, because even though like you might be playing in Italy, the top team may have the best locals, and you're only allowed 2 Americans, so you got to do what you got to do. So my thing is, go over there, with a good attitude, outwork everybody, of course, out and show off, and show out when the game comes, because that's what's gonna carry you. And just they real sensitive. They real sensitive people. So don't go over there getting an attitude, because the next team you want to go to, the next team that calls about you, they're not gonna lie, because their reputation. You got a bad attitude, even a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
You know, if you rub them wrong even a little bit, they might add a little. They might embellish a little.
Yeah, throw a little bit on there. Yeah.
Yeah, being real dirty.
So at
Oh,
the end of the day,
That's the politics of that game, also.
So at the end of the day, what you're saying is it comes down to attitudes, work ethic, and character.
Yep, and knowing how to deal with a bit of adversity.
Yeah,
you got to know how to handle that and bounce back from that, because you're gonna go through it. You're gonna be with a team that's a little late with your money. You're gonna deal with some teams that's dealing with some local stuff. You got an Italian. He might be bitching in the paper. He might be bitching to the president, the team president, behind your back while playing. Yeah, they might cut your time a little bit just to shut him up.
Wow.
They might get local pressure from the fans, just to show their support for this guy, because they know he's gonna be there longer than you are. He's gonna be there probably, he's gonna probably end up living there, being there the rest of his life.
Yep. Gotcha. Wow.
You're gonna making business decisions.
Yep. Yeah, you're gonna hear it. You might be in Russia the next, might be in Germany, might be in Spain, China. But they're gonna be loyal to their locals. Because when you're overseas, if you have the best locals, if you got the best locals, chances are you're gonna have the best team overseas, because you gotta have yes. Because the amount of Americans you can have per team is limited. Yeah. That's the game.
Well, man, hey, I want to thank you for taking your time out today, man, to come spend with us. It was incredible. Like I say, man, everything that you gave back it's so useful, and it's used in it's everyday life, man. I just want to thank you.
And I will tell you, there's some nuggets that you put out that I'm going to utilize myself. That don't quit, because when you quit, like, bro, you need to coin that, because when you quit, everything that you did to get there means nothing.
Nothing. It's where's it going, bro? It's like, what did you do it for?
No, that's solid right there.
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna give you credit for like the next 3 or 4 times that I use it, but then it's gonna be my own.
Hey, I never even considered the politics of overseas. Every time I hear about things overseas, it's pretty much good situations, how wonderful it is. How you get to travel everywhere and how you're treated like a king, unlike we are here in a lot of situations.
Overseas is a challenge. It's very being away from your own culture, your home, your family, being away for 7-8 months at a time, having no friends, you're probably gonna live in an apartment and hotel and be there alone.
The language barrier.
But even though like most of those Eastern Europe countries are, English is gonna be the second language, but it's still a culture shock. Being there for that, you're gonna get, like, guys get homesick quick.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start missing shit like IHOP.
Yeah.
all stuff, man. But yeah, it's a lot that goes into it, man. So yeah, no, being overseas is not easy. Like, no, it's not easy at all, bro. Especially the style of basketball they play. It's a football schedule. I was coming from playing 3 to 4 times a week. Europe, you play once a week, like a foot schedule.
Really?
So that whole week, you're doing nothing but practicing and training. You might be doing 2 a days for 3 times.
Wow.
So if I have a bad game on Sunday,
you gotta wait till next Sunday.
Wait an entire week, get posted in the press the entire week,
wow.
And wait for redemption the next Sunday. Where's no guarantee you're gonna have a good game then, because you're not used to playing once a week.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, it's different.
Yeah. Hey, but thank you so much, T. Like I said, man, you're now officially a part of the ASAP Elite family. Man, we would love to have you back on.
Oh, all good, bro. All good, anytime.
Well, thank you, brother. Take it easy, man.
Yes, man, I appreciate it, man. You have a good one.
Well, it was a lot that we can use from there. That a lot of people can use from this interview. He went a route that a lot of people do go, or have to go, or are forced to go. A lot of people don't get the opportunity to get the NBA in between.
More people go that route.
Yeah, they do. They do. Without the opportunity and experience of the NBA in between, to be able to know the difference, and to be able to learn how to be a professional in other places.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so wow, man. That was great.
And there was a lot of life lessons, man. Whether, like I said, we talked about, whether you're going to be a professional in sports or a professional in just everyday life and business, right? I mean, there's a huge translation into the things that he spoke on, right? The politics. Listen, you're going to quit a sport for politics, and then you're going to go and work in a business that's going to have politics.
Yep.
It don't add up.
And always being ready.
Yeah.
And your work ethic taking you everywhere you want to go.
And
you never know.
Character.
Yep. That's right. You never know when your time is.
Yeah, because you can have horrible character and great work ethic. That character, you gotta put those two together, man. That whole story about Rudy Tom.
Yep.
Yeah, the thing is, if it wasn't for his character, he didn't get that call.
He don't get a second chance at all.
Absolutely.
Yep, that's a good thing, man. That was brilliant. Well, Haas, here we go, man. We finished another one.
Yes, sir.
Great information. For those, man, I want to thank our listeners and our viewers. We'll be back next week. See you later.